Well, Ruben, first and foremost, welcome to the Padre organization. How have these first couple of days been in this compressed spring training?
It's been quick. I mean, it's like a blur. There's so much to get done, so much that we wanted to accomplish in the first week, especially knowing that the games were coming. And it's been meeting with guys and getting to know them and watching as many bullpens as I can, and having meetings. We've started that, so it's been compressed, no doubt.
Let's start at the beginning for you, growing up in Calexico, going to Calexico High School. I mean, that's a pretty good deal. You have a tremendous pitching mind from everything we understand. There's 30 major league teams, but the one closest to where you grew up, that's pretty special.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, that's home base, and it still is. I live out in El Centro. My parents are still in Calexico, same house, which is pretty cool. And it's a short drive. I was when I got hired, I was driving up there back and forth a few days a week, and it was easy. I drove with a smile every time.
That's beautiful. All right, let's talk some pitching. Core philosophies. Are there some that you have that you bring to pitchers? Because obviously guys are different, but that sort of general stuff that can apply across the board.
Sure. I think with the delivery, I think there's certain points that we have to hit. Whether it's loading pattern, rotational pattern, and bracing patterns, I think those are the three big ones. But when you start talking about just pitching in general, I think there's so many things. The way I view this is that the body creates the ball movement creates performance, and back and forth. So you start looking at performance, where's this guy failed, what's the ball flight telling us, and then what is the body doing to impact that ball flight, and you start piecing things together, and then make it individualized at that point and go from there.
The way we evaluate pitching and pitches has changed so much in the last, call it 10 years. I heard you describe yourself as progressive old school, trying to blend it all together. What does that mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Somebody called me that.
Oh, okay. Well, it wasn't you then. It was a label put upon you.
No, that basically means it's like there's so much stuff, in baseball that is just, it is what it is. Strike one, ability to command fastball, ability to keep hitters off balance, ability to control the running game. Those things are staples for baseball. And there's been a transition. I was talking about 27 years in professional baseball, 21 years as a coach, and I've seen so much change within the game, and obviously technology. Analytics has played a big role in that, and dive into that stuff and try to learn as much as I can with that stuff, and apply it into the game and how it actually impacts performance, and try to make sense of it.
And then, of course, trying to make sense of it not just to yourself but to the guys, and every guy, I imagine, kind of takes things in a little bit differently.
Yeah, I mean, you got to find everybody's angle and what they feel comfortable with. Once that happens, it's a little bit easier, and some guys are a little bit more simple. It's like, hey, let's do this a little bit better, and that's it. Some guys are going to take a deep dive into it and really start breaking down, ball flight with you a little bit more, and talking fingers and grips and deliveries and stuff like that. But you've got to be open to all of that, and you got to respect what the player, how the player learns, and have an understanding of that. And that's where we are right now, is relationship building.
When in your life or career did coaching become something appealing to you?
Well, I think my first spring training with the Montreal Expos, the farm director drove up to me to introduce himself, and he actually said, "Hey, if this pitching thing doesn't work out, are you interested in coaching?" I'm going like, "Wow, I'd like to get this playing thing a little bit of a go here." But anyways, I ended up pitching 6 years in professional baseball, which I thought was pretty good. I actually went to that farm director later on and said, "Hey, how was ended up pitching 6 years?" And he looked at me, and I was a coordinator at that time with the Indians, and he goes, "Well, I was a pretty good scout, and now you're a leader of the pitching department." And I was like, "Oh, he got me there." But no, I think that actually after that conversation, I started paying attention a little bit more, and noticed some players that were teammates of mine would ask me like, "Hey, what do you see in my delivery?" And I was actually able to pick up on some things. And after I got done playing, it was an easy transition.
Who were some of the guys that meant a lot to you coming up, coaching wise? You kind of learned from and picked their brains, or at least observed them and tried to take away some of what they're able to do.
Sure. I think I had a college coach named Tony Barbone, a guy that has a big impact in my career. He was a coach at Azusa Pacific. I remember learning some from Brent Strom, who's now the pitching coach with Arizona. Brent Strom was my pitching coach in Double-A. Just there's so many people, and I tell the young coaches here all the time, it's like you've got to be able to pick a little bit from somebody and make it your own. And once you feel comfortable that you have a strong foundation, keep adding pillars to that and continue going from there. So I think there's a lot of people that have been impactful in my coaching career, and no one more than my family. The support and just the ability for me to dive into this and them being supportive of that. So it was a good decision.
Ruben Niebla, building foundations for Padre pitchers now. Thanks so much for the time, and again, welcome to San Diego.
Appreciate it.
Welcome
that was
home.
easy.
Welcome home to San Diego.
That's right.